Today we have a special announcement. We're here with the world-renowned Superleggera V4 SVJ and its owner, Mr. Dave Enders, who's been a great client of ours since 2008, Desmo Sedici, Superleggera owner, Street Fighter, Lamborghini, and many more. And he's got something real special to tell you. Welcome, Dave.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Oh, yes. First of all, if you guys haven't known, this is Superleggera 2021. Most of the bikes were made in 2020, and that was during COVID. So mine was the very last bike, number 500 of 500. And I was also the very first Unica bike in the world. What does that mean exactly? That means it's a customization program that you can give them any ideas that you want, and they'll take those ideas and put it to paper, and then of course give it a bike. So if you guys are familiar with 2021 Superleggera, they're all red striped tires, and unfortunately my thing is not red, even though that's kind of like, you know, the Ducati thing, but that's okay. I'm a blue guy, but this is actually Lamborghini blue. This bike was actually painted in the factory at Lamborghini. This was modeled after my SVJ Roadster. So if you look down here, the J denotes V4J for the bike, but also after SVJ for my car. So this is the only one in the world that they specially named with the J, and also the only one in the world that's blue, and you can see all the blue shading on the seat. This is literally material from the Lamborghini factory. It has the Y, the signature Y from Lamborghini, the blue Alcantara, the black Alcantara, the V4 with the J stitch, and then it runs the stripe all the way through the back. So many items come from this bike that was originally from the car, come from the Lamborghini SVJ Roadster car. And as you can see, I'm number 500 of 500. It was the very last production bike that came off the line. As you know, guys, every few years they come out with a new iteration. It started with the Desmo Sedici in 2008, which I got, and then the 2014 Superleggera, which I also got, and then I passed on the 17. I just didn't think there was enough differentiation between the two, and then 2020, which this is a 2021 V4 Superleggera came out. Now, as you guys I'm sure know, 2026 and 2027, the next Superleggera that was going to come out, and it's actually called the Centenario. Why? Centenario for 100, because it's Ducati's 100th year anniversary. So with the anticipation of getting that bike, my dream, and I didn't think I would get it, would be to get a Unica. And why I doubted to get that is because it's a very, very limited, where they only make about 12 to 15 Unica bikes a year, and they're booked out very far in advance. But I did let them know if there's ever a next Superleggera, I do want to get a Unica and stand out. So I am privileged and honored to say that Ducati has approved me, to the best of my knowledge, the only Unica Superleggera. Now there may be other ones, I just not currently public or know about it. So I will be the only person in the world to have a Superleggera V4J and a Centenario Unica, both Unica bikes. So what am I gonna do? Well, here is the vision. If you guys know the McLaren W1 hypercar that's coming out in 2027, I have one of those fully exposed carbon fiber. They actually made me a color called Andromeda, especially for me that's never been on any other McLaren. We'll show you that, guys, in the video. It's green and blue and purple, and it changes colors in the sun, similar to what my 765 was. And my dream is to get McLaren and Ducati to do a collaboration, and I've talked to McLaren about this, and they're in. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the same exact factory paint, factory seat Alcantara, stitch, everything that's in the car, and we're gonna put that onto the bike. Now, if you guys also don't know, McLaren is the only car company in the world that does not share their paint code. What does that mean? Normally, like Lamborghini, Ferrari, they have a PPG paint code. You could go anywhere, get that mix, and you walk out, this is your paint. McLaren doesn't do that. McLaren ships all their paint from the factory. As soon as you crack open the lid, the paint's good for about 24 hours and it's no longer good. So that also makes it a little bit more difficult in this situation, because Ducati can't just make paint for you. So what we're gonna do is I talked to McLaren, and they're gonna allow a one-time usage of their paint to get sent over to Ducati, and for Ducati to mix it and make it. And the plan is to have a fully exposed carbon fiber with blue shading over top. They call it VCW, which is visual carbon fiber. So it'll be an exact replica match to my W1, and we're gonna do some crazy stuff with the wheels and the drawing. It's gonna have Centenario on it for the 100th anniversary, but we're thinking about the names. We're not exactly sure what the name is gonna be, because you have W1 from McLaren, you have Centenario, which is the 100th anniversary. So and of course you have V4. So we're gonna figure out the names, but we're gonna make a unique name that's gonna be officially named from the Ducati factory for my motorcycle that will tie in directly with McLaren. So this will be the first and probably the only collaboration, not officially, but between the two and myself, of a McLaren and a Ducati put together. And my car is supposed to be done early 2027. So the goal is to have the car and the bike publicly unveiled at the same exact time, and we'll probably do that down at Newport Beach McLaren, and to have them both unveiled for the very first time for it to be seen. So stay tuned, guys. That's the vision. Anything may change, but that's the plan as of right now, to have literally a Unica Centenario that is a W1 matching spec. Wow. All right, guys, we are here at Ducati Newport Beach with something very special today. This is a DHL package from McLaren MSO. If you guys don't know, MSO stands for McLaren Special Operations, special products that they make that are their custom ones. So you have, your normal McLarens, and then when you spec out your McLaren and you want to go above and beyond and create something special, you go to MSO. And almost every single one of my cars that I've gotten from McLaren has a bunch of MSO options, and the W1 is no different. I think there's about $600,000 to $700,000 in MSO options on that car. So that'll truly be a one-of-one unique spec that'll be separated, and no other W1 will have a similar spec to this. So that being said, my Ducati Centenario Superleggera is a Unica bike, and Unica is similar to MSO, meaning that Ducati will create something very special and unique just for that customer. I was privileged enough to have the very first Unica bike in the entire world, which was my 2001 Superleggera. And if you guys have seen, we'll put the link down below. They created a bike that was off of my Lamborghini SVJ, and they named it V4J. So the same paint, the same stitching, the Y, everything came off of the car that went onto the bike. So you could say it was a collaboration between Ducati and Lamborghini. So that was 2021. This bike will be a 2027. So 6 years later, we are now going to have the one and only Ducati McLaren collaboration. So I called these guys and I said, hey, what can you send me? So I got a nice letter from Max. I don't know if you guys can see down below here. It says McLaren Special Operations. And he says, Dave, hope all is well with you. Please find the enclosed paint samples and formulas for the Andromeda tint and paint, so on and so on. I'm not going to read the rest. It's a private message to me. But my W1, they developed a special paint called Andromeda that's been never used on any other McLaren ever. So it's only unique to this one specific car. And we're going to take that paint and apply it to the Ducati. So here's what they sent me. So we're going to open this up. And if you ask me, McLaren does hands down the best paint in the entire world in the automotive industry. No one even comes close to the things that they can develop. So we want to pull this out here. First we're going to see is the carbon fiber. So you can see it's split 50-50. 50% of it is gloss carbon fiber, 50% of it is satin carbon fiber, and then you can see the back. So the entire W1 of the body is carbon fiber, and it's going to be exposed carbon fiber just like this. So the plan is to do the bike the same way. It's going to be completely exposed carbon fiber with the paint over top of it. In McLaren, they call that VCW, visual carbon fiber. And then certain parts of the bike will be the paint. So if you look on the back here, Andromeda, so it changes blues, purples, greens. If you guys ever saw my 765 LT, it was the same thing. It was a color stream paint that changed different colors. So all depends on how you hold it into the light. It'll go very purple, and then it'll also go all of a sudden blue, and then it'll go green. So we have the paint, we have carbon fiber gloss, carbon fiber satin, and then on the interior of the McLaren, is a blue Alcantara with black stitch. So for the seat of the McLaren, we're also going to do the same exact blue Alcantara with black stitch. So the idea for the first and only Ducati / McLaren collaboration is going to be Andromeda paint, fully exposed carbon fiber with the satin, with the blue Alcantara. Uliana is going to make something very special for me. We gotta hit it out of the ballpark, considering I got the first Unica, and I'm the only person in the world to have 2 Superleggeras that are both Unica bikes. Like that. That's like really blue, and now it goes to purple. The natural lighting is completely different than what you guys see underneath that. So that's not going to change much because it's just Alcantara, but you can see how bright it is. This is what's going to change. Now you can see all the pearls in it, all the different layers in this. And you can see as I turn my hand, just think of this as the car, and as you walk around the car, or now would be the Ducati, you can see the blues, the purples, the greens. The satin's not going to show the color change as much, but you could even see all the reflection in the carbon fiber. So now you can see the weave coming through, and then depending on the angle, and you can see the difference between solid paint and then when it's visual carbon fiber with the paint over top of it. So it's literally infinite as you can walk around. Even in pictures, the front of the car will look blue, the back of the car will look purple, just depending on where the sun's hitting, and the angle of the sun can look like a completely different car. So for my angle, that looks very purple, and then as you start changing it, then it's very blue. So if you want to come over here, maybe maybe trying to see it through my eyes. See how purple that is? That's like a bright purple. And then as soon as you change it like this, it's a very soft looking blue, and even to a soft blue green. So again, just depending on the angles what the colors will be. Thank you for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more info. Click and subscribe down below. See you guys soon.